Well, g'day everybody. I thought I'd do a quick update video. Yep, the tile floor still hasn't been done. But this video has nothing to do with that. This is about this washing machine. There's nothing really to see in here. It's black, and yeah, you can't really see much. But anyway, I might include a couple of photos on this video because you can't see shit in here. But basically, if I reach in there, it's got a a hole in there for the drain, pump to connect to. I pulled it apart, obviously. It's very easy to do. You got a screw each side of here, and you got a screw in each corner here that you access with that panel off. And this just hinges up out of the way, and it's very easy to work on. I've started cleaning up the ring that goes around the top of the outer tub. It goes this way. I didn't bother marking it because you can't stuff it up. Like, the water connects to this port here. The outer tub I'm throwing out because it's rusty, but I've given it a good scrub, but I have to still scrub in here because it's the top of the outer tub's rusty as well as the drain port. So I've got to make sure that all of the rust that's you can sort of see it every now and again, all the rust is away, because I don't want to start rusting the new drum, the new outer drum, that is, outer tub, whatever you want to call it. If I flick this over, these clips or whatever you want to call them, some of them have got rust on them and some of them are perfect, so every one of them is going to have to be absolutely spotless so that no rust is left, because it'll start new rust. I got out the scissors, and that's what this is on the floor. It's shavings, and with them closed, I just used them to get rid of the flash line on the inside of this ring, because just thought I'd finish it off. It's a bit of a habit I developed when I was working with plastic, fabricating things out of plastic, so it's quite good to work with, good quality plastic. Yeah, and that's a little hook thing for a line, the line that for the level sense. So I started cleaning that up, put that aside. It was absolutely filthy and growing, all sorts of yucky things. This agitator, I've cleaned it out. It's not fully clean, but it's pretty good. It's not filthy like it was, and under this cup was absolutely vile. Clean that up. I'll just bring this into the light. I cleaned this ring. This plastic ring just sort of, detaches via these holes, and I've cleaned it right up. That was filthy. I don't know what exactly this washing machine's been used for, but the water to fill it up in the first place goes via these holes here. So it shouldn't really get that dirty. Theoretically, it's cleaned out every time you use it, so I don't know why it was so vile. And there's still evidence of, can't really see it, but there's still evidence of a bit of crap around there. But as for the inside, this was never really, it was finished off okay from the factory, but they give the inside of the drum a sand by the look of it, make sure it's all nice and smooth, which it definitely is. Where the spot welds are, where the seam welds are, it's okay. But this middle bit was rough, like even after I scrubbed it with a scrubbing brush. It was like rough from the stamping process or something, so I figured that if I smooth it right out with some sandpaper, all the dirt and shit won't tend to accumulate, and if it does, it'll be easy to get rid of. So you don't see that anyway. You can see there's a mark where the agitator sits. You can just see the edge of one of those that ring of holes, so it's not going to be a problem. I think it actually covers those ring of holes, but anyway. As for the bottom of it, I did the same thing. It was all, had corrosion from the hub that it bolts to, and I wanted to get rid of the corrosion because I don't want it to start new corrosion on the new hub. Because if you got, rust or corrosion, it can actually start, if it's like just sitting there and you bolt it up to the new nice aluminium hub, it can actually start the corrosion process. So I do realise that they'll corrode out eventually, but it's really good quality stainless steel. I've done the rare earth magnet test, and she passes. It's definitely some high grade stainless steel, like 306 grade I think it probably is, or 304. Something that's non-ferromagnetic anyway, so it's real stainless. I scrubbed the outside, which was all growing with slime and shit. You really, when you're finished with your washing machine, and it says it in the instruction book, so I gather that people just don't read instructions or something, and I do understand you don't really need to, but when you're finished with one of these washers, please leave the lid like that. That's what it says in the book to do, and I'm going to tell you to do it because it's absolutely disgusting, the shit that grows in a washing machine that never dries out. So the lid up, like it says in the instruction book. And by the way, I've read the instruction book for Maytag and Speed Queen, which this is, washing machines, and every single one of them says when finished, when not using washer, leave lid up. Now it doesn't say it here, I don't think. It doesn't say here, but yeah, it doesn't say here, but in the actual book it does tell you to leave the lid up. That's to promote airflow, to dry everything out. I mean, this shouldn't really it shouldn't grow slime. Like, I wash in cold water, so maybe that'll help too, but a cold water environment's probably less likely to grow slime because the warm water's nice and warm, and I use good quality liquid detergent. I don't use any powder because this thing's just full of powder. Like, you can't really see it, but maybe not here, but down on the bottom, yeah, it was absolutely full of undissolved powder and stuff. I don't recommend using powder. I don't care what, you know, commercial powder or whatever they recommend you to use, but good quality, environmentally friendly detergent works better than half the powder anyway, to my experience, and it has the added bonus of keeping the machine clean. You're out of your friggin' mind if you ever use bleach in them, because as an oxidizing agent it will destroy the outer tub here eventually, and that's what I see here, especially around the top bit. It's rusty, and well, it shouldn't be, it should never rust. So it's stove enameled steel. Well, it's pretty well protected, it shouldn't corrode out. So yeah, don't use bleach in it. I don't even own bleach. I mean, there are better products nowadays than bleach. It has a bleach cup. Well, it's ornamental. As fabric softener, I never use that anyway, and my opinion is that it just simply makes the inside of the machine dirty with all that stuff anyway, because it never... The last rinse, to me, that should be just clean water. It cleans out all the detergent and crap out of the machine and your clothes. And quite honestly, I never use fabric softener, but maybe if you do less is more or something, maybe you could water it down. But I tend to believe that the less chemicals and stuff you use, the better. I have a dream of actually having a full grey water system, because these things hold a fair bit of water. Like, this drum's pretty big. It gives you an idea of, you know, to give you an idea, this drum's not exactly little, so this is the inner drum and the outer one's obviously bigger. So I have the dream of watering all the garden out the front that hasn't been put in yet. With water out of this thing, I use no-name detergent that's liquid, and it's phosphorus free, so you can use it in grey water systems. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to water plants with, you know, with water that's you know, clean tap water. Why should I do that? I'm not going to pay for that. So yeah, you can expect some interesting videos over the next 12 months, especially if you're into, you know, grey water systems and, well, repairing this thing to start with. But see no reason to ramble on or rattle on for too long. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm just waiting for bits. The outer tub was fairly pricey. It was around the $400 mark, with about $16 postage. The website I ended up using edis, edis.com.au. They sell them through Speed Queen. You can actually order them new. This is a genuine part anyway through Edis. But if you order it through Speed Queen, you either have to pay $200 air freight, which would mean the outer tub would cost $450 through Speed Queen if you want it in a hurry. Or if you want to pay $250 with, and they didn't tell me what the postage was, I'd assume it's very cheap, you have to wait 3 months for it to come out on a boat. So they're the two options through Speed Queen, either a $200 air freight fee or very cheap postage but up to 3 months wait for it to come out on a boat. I joined the Edis website. You know, they do Speed Queen bits and a few other different makes, and yeah, they're freighting it down from New South Wales, so it's actually in the country already. So yep, that's what I'm doing. The hub kit and the hub and seal kit and all that comes with all the new bits and all new gaskets and stuff. That was $100 or $106 off eBay for a genuine kit, but you verify your model numbers and stuff, because the bits for these things aren't really that cheap. You know, they're not that expensive considering what I'm actually buying for it, and I do think it's worth it given that it's a really good machine. It's in good nick, and you know, the gearbox is fine. I've tested all that before I ordered the bits for obvious reasons. But yeah, really for what the bits are costing, I think it's worth it. But if you don't verify that the kits you're getting and things are the right ones, then you've got rocks in your head, because you might be paying a fortune for a bit you can't use. The other thing is, when you're dealing with these drums, when you've got this plastic bit off the top, you know, be careful, be gentle when you lever this or pry or whatever, you know, this you know, the little plastic clip out. You know, be gentle that you don't damage it, because they're expensive to buy. And the other thing is, this top lip of this drum is as absolute sharp as a razor. As I found out the hard way while I was scrubbing it, I cut all the way through the skin, and when I pulled the cut back, I could actually see the tendon there. No, I didn't damage the tendon, but it's not very comfortable at the moment. It's sore, but yeah. So just be a bit careful, cautious, because this is very sharp, and the one in there is going to be sharp too. So yeah, just a word of warning: when you're dealing with that crap, wear at least rubber gloves, or even better, wear a leather glove, because they're very sharp edges. They're normally hidden by things like the agitator, and you know, you can't get to it when you got it assembled. So yeah.